Earth history.
Hey children, I'm Professor Marquis Newton. I'm telling you all about Earth history, and I brought a friend.
Hello, children. I am Pancho.
Hey Poncho.
And I brought a little friend that will help us. It is my dog, Slash. Hello!
Hey Slash.
I am not Slash. I am Romeo. And I'm going to help all of you talk about Earth.
I know, what a fun! Let's start!
We think Earth was created 4.6 billion years ago. Everything was lava, rock, or volcanoes on Earth. Stars exploded and formed dust in space. Volcanoes emitted gases into the atmosphere. Asteroids and comets bombarded Earth, and the moon was large in the sky. Meteorites tell us about the conditions and when the planet was formed. Gravity pulled in things from outer space to Earth. Magnetic fields protect us from winds. This is why we have the South and North Pole. Mars is an example of how the Earth could have become if the core would have cooled. The oldest known rocks on Earth are about 3.8 billion years old, while the rocks on the Moon are around 4.5 billion years old. Most scientists believe that the Moon is part of the Earth, which eventually separated a long time ago. This theory is called the fission theory. Scientists say that the Earth's rocks are younger because erosion and tectonic plates destroyed all the rocks that were older than that time. The Moon is millions of years younger than Earth. A planet crashed against the Earth, forming the Moon. The Moon was formed 50 million years after Earth. With the Moon so close to Earth's gravitational force pull on Earth was enormous. The Moon is moving away from Earth. Meteorites are the only rocks on Earth that are this old. The solar system was forming during this time. People think it's possible that it formed inside a large cloud of dust and gas around the Sun. The Sun formed inside the cloud of dust and gas. When it undergoes nuclear fusion, it started to give off light and heat. Particles that surrounded the Sun started to come together by gravity and form planetesimals. Planetesimals started to release heat because of the collision. Earth started to molten and change from liquid to solid. Erosion and plate tectonics has probably destroyed all of the solid rocks that were older than 3.8 billion years old. Gravitational compactation is when gravity causes objects to shrink or compact. The atmosphere had gases that would have been toxic to much of life we have today on Earth. Earth's crust cooled enough that rocks and continental plates began to form. Then, about 3.5 billion years ago, life appeared on Earth. The oldest fossils consist of bacteria, microfossils, and colonies of photosynthetic bacteria that lived on mounds. Organisms were anaerobic, which means that they did not need oxygen to breathe, but instead used fermentation process to create energy. 1.8 billion years ago, eukaryotic cells evolved and became the first organisms to have a nucleus. Bacteria has lived on Earth for 1.7 billion years. The first known plant are a species of algae called blue-green algae or cyanobacteria. Blue-green algae lived in fresh water and still live in places like the Everglades in Florida today. Some types of algae have the ability to fix nitrogen, or the process of converting unusable nitrogen into usable nitrogen. This is one of the main reasons that they have survived for so long. The metazoan was the first species of jellyfish. The metazoan is another name for the comb jellyfish. The jellyfish is an animal that has no eyes, no bones, no brain, and is 95% made up of water. It also has tentacles that they use to sting their prey and then eat them. Continents first appeared during this time. 2.2 billion years ago, oxygen appeared on Earth. Eukaryotics aided the evolution of multicellular organisms. Stromatolite is a colony of cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria are a photosynthetic, single-celled organisms living in water that produce oxygen as a form of waste in respiration. The ones that suffered from increase of oxygen were the ones that did not use oxygen, which were the anaerobic. The ones that benefited were aerobic organisms. The Cambrian era started 543 million years ago and ended 490 million years ago. During this time, there is a massive outbreak of living organisms. For this reason, the Cambrian era is sometimes called the explosion of life, and we now find a large amount of fossils from this time in Earth's history. It was also a time when most of our present-day major animal groups appeared. One of the most abundant animal species during that time are tree locusts. During this time, there was a lot of diversity in multicellular life. Animal phyla first appeared and the largest mass extinction in Earth's history occurred. Marine animals were mostly affected, in which 90% of the population was wiped out. Trilobites were an abundant species during this time. The Ordovician started 490 million years ago and ended 443 million years ago. At this time, most of the world's landmass was located in the supercontinent Gondwanaland. In Gondwanaland, the first backbone animals appeared. Some of these are graptolites, brachiopods, and trilobites. The trilobites are hard-shelled, segmented creatures that lived in the ocean over 300 million years ago. The weather was warm and there was a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Warm, moist environments were a great place for diversity of life. Most of the world's continents were located in Gondwanaland. When Gondwanaland settled in the South Pole, many glaciers formed, causing sea level changes. The Silurian began 443 million years ago and ended 417 million years ago. The Silurian was a time when the Earth's climate stabilized. This is what caused the creation of the first plant, which was a branched stem plant. Not only was it the beginning of plants on Earth, but it was also the first arachnids and other groups of species appeared. The Silurian also marked the beginning of the first jawed fish. One of the earliest known vertebrates was the jaws is the conthodians. The advantage of having jaws was that they could nibble on their prey's flesh and that they didn't have to wait for their food. They could actually go and find food. Not only did they have those adaptations, but they also had hard scales, unlike the soft and slippery fish that we know nowadays. The first amphibian on Earth was called the Acanthostegia, or spinureve. It lived nearly 365 billion years ago. It was proven by the scientists that the Acanthostegia is an amphibian because it had fish-like shape, had nostrils, and had short, thin ribs. The Mississippian period was from 360 to 325 million years ago. It was when the first section of the Carnivorous started. Most of the rocks of this age were near the Mississippi River Valley. During the Mississippi period, terrestrial swamps covered the land of what we know today as North America. The Pennsylvanian period was from 325 to 256 million years ago. In this period, the first reptile appeared. It was known as the Hylonomus. It is 20 centimeters long, looked like a lizard, and ate insects. The Permian period was from 256 to 245 million years ago. This period was the last period of the Paleozoic era. During this time, Earth was almost an ice age. Also, in this era, the first vertebrate fossil appeared. World fauna changed drastically during this period. The Mesozoic time was divided into three periods: Jurassic, Triassic, and Cretaceous. Dinosaurs appeared in the Triassic period and got extinct in the Cretaceous. Vegetation changed a lot. By the middle of the Cretaceous, the earliest angiosperms had appeared.
Did you know that in the Triassic period, the largest mass extinction occurred ever in history?
Oh yes, it killed about 95% of all the species. Poor species.
What a crime!
Yes! Holy smokes! It killed about mostly the marine species, such as the trilobites.
In the Jurassic era, there was a massive breakup of the continent Pangaea. Also, the Jurassic period was a time when reptiles dominated the land. Some of them were herbivores and others carnivores. Besides large reptiles, the first mammal started to appear. It was the weasel-like animal that was very small. The first bird that appeared on Earth was about 150 million years old, and it appeared during the Jurassic period. Scientists say that the first bird was a transitional form of the reptile and the bird. It could fly with its wings, but with a reptile type of skin. Cretaceous happened 140 million years ago. At this time, the first fossils of many insects, mammals, birds, and flowering plants emerged. In this period, some dinosaurs like the Cretaceous appeared, but as well as some disappeared.